Okay, so we're now going to start. Now, the first thing you want to do to get to Codecademy is you have to search up Codecademy in your web browser. And then you want to click the link. Once it loads, if you have an account, you will then need to, like, the top will just be loading. Well, if you want to sign up, you'll then have to enter your password and make sure that you remember these, and then you have to verify them afterwards.
What did I tell you?
Sign up using one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said you guys should see me.
Yeah. He was watching a movie.
Yeah, and she said it's not far. You said we should go upstairs.
No.
No, the notice you don't want to
You have a question. Okay, so you can sign up either using these options or just doing an email and password. So the options are LinkedIn, Google, Facebook, GitHub, and Apple. And if you already have an account, then you'll need to go up here and press login. Then again, you can sign in with any of these options. But for me, I'm just going to log in. I also have one other thing to mention. Once you sign up, there's going to be some things which are going to ask you questions so they can personalize Codecademy for you. So it's going to be like, why did you choose Codecademy? Where did you hear about it? You can either just go through those or you can skip it. So there's no proper answer to those. It's just your opinion. So once you've logged in or signed up, this will be your dashboard. Then I just need to wait for the top to load. The course we're going to be doing is cybersecurity. So to get there, you first go to catalog. Then you go to explore all courses. Then here you'll see cybersecurity. It's in alphabetical order, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. Then, once you've done that, you'll have to look for the one that says Introduction to Cybersecurity. One easy way to find it is to just go to the beginner level. You just need to filter it. Beginner and free. So I am just experiencing some technical issues. And once you've done that, one of the first ones should be Introduction to Cybersecurity. Then there's going to be an option to start the course, but if you've already started it, you can just press resume. And then you can go to syllabus. And we're going to be continuing malware. So you don't have to press back to go into the whole of cybersecurity. And we're going to be doing cyber threats. Then go to malware, so more, and go into
But
that.
sorry to interrupt, but I can't see your screen.
You can't.
Yeah, I can't see your screen.
Like, is anything appearing?
It's it's just the meeting is not appearing. Nothing's appearing on the screen. Just the meeting.
So it's just.
Yeah,
so
sorry, can any other person see? Because I can anyway. If you can see the screen, can you put in the chat or mute that you can see the screen?
Like,
Yes.
Okay, all right. So yeah, if you cannot see the screen, can you log out and log in again? If that's okay. Thank you.
okay, so we are now going to continue with ransomware. So as from before, the objective is to look at what ransomware is, and then we'll have to then give advice to our client who has been infected with this or hasn't on how to stop it or avoid it. Although Atkinson, do you have a question?
Yeah, it's because I can't do it because I don't have like a laptop or anything to do it.
So you don't have access to a laptop at all?
Yes, okay. You
No.
need to speak to your parents about that if that's okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Can I still stay though?
You can answer the questions that we're doing here. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish looking at malware, and then we're going to recap all of the other types of malware we looked at. Then we're going to do a quiz. And if we have time, we can continue on after that. So we're going to continue by looking at ransomware. So a rootkit, does anyone remember what a rootkit is? Can you raise your hand if you do know? Does anyone know what a rootkit is?
What did you say?
Does anyone know what a rootkit is? We discussed it last time. But all the letters in, do you know what rootkit is?
Is it like I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, a rootkit is basically a collection of programs that will allow a cybercriminal to gain full access of your computer. But ransomware is what can be snuck-in using a rootkit, as shown here. And this will allow you to like stop the user of that computer from being able to access it. And it's basically just a remote control of that computer. And this can happen to major companies in which they get hacked and then they have to pay a ransom in order to get important data back. So like imagine a hospital has got loads of their patient's data stolen and they're locked out of it. They'll have to pay a ransom so they can access it all again, or like plane flights. So does anyone have a suggestion on how to avoid this or stop it? Diana?
To say what else a rootkit can do.
Pardon?
I was going to say what else a rootkit can do.
Okay.
It can get people's personal information.
Yes, it can. Okay, so does anyone have any suggestions on how to avoid ransomware? All the while, Tosin?
We can stay away from it, and don't go anywhere like close to it.
Farid, do you have any other suggestions?
They can hire atypical hackers to test the firewalls and the safety of the website as a whole. So then they'll be able to find out just like any malware or any viruses that can hack past it.
Okay. We're now going to look at the suggestion. And it's regularly back up important files so that you won't be locked out of them, and have a procedure in place for ransomware requests. So basically, you'll just have to alert to the authorities and make sure that you're regularly backing up your files. We're now going to look at fileless malware. This is basically if you download a game, like let's say Bingo, as an example, as it says there. What can happen is that the malware isn't inside the game, it is the game. It's like just coded into it. Like a Trojan horse will basically just be a malware snuck into it, but this is the game being the malware. So from this, it's not pretending to be the software, it is the software. So does anyone have any suggestions on how to avoid this? Anyone?
What did you say?
Does anyone have any suggestions on how to avoid fileless malware? Farid?
Like I said earlier, hire government official hackers to test firewalls to make sure nothing can get past it.
Yeah. Like, come to think of it, that sort of thing might only be possible in a company. But like, let's say you got hacked and you don't have those sorts of plans. Does anyone else have any other suggestions?
Always have two-step verification on so you can track where the hacker is coming from. You can
Like we're looking at fileless malware, so this is from something that you downloaded.
okay.
It's not like someone's directly hacking your computer.
Okay.
Manuel, do you have a suggestion?
Try not to kind of download any files that you don't know about and you think are unsafe.
Okay. Ianu?
Don't download random games.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really, really good suggestions. Anyway, hopefully you guys are noting that as well, and also processing that within your yourself as well. Don't download the games that you don't know, right? Okay, all right. Over to you, Joshua. Continue. Thank you.
So Enoch and Oluwatosin, just so we can continue, can you put your answers in the chat, please? We're now going to look at the suggestions. So it's basically reminding you to download an antivirus and avoid the suspicious links, as said, and disable command line applications and macros not in use on your device. So basically, don't just let random things run in the background, and keep them up to date with security updates. And also, just if worse comes to worse, reboot the computer. And Enoch, that is a good suggestion where you could read the reviews. Except there could be a problem with Like, let's say faking the reviews and just like putting bot reviews. So we're now going to review all of it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah. So we are going to do the review next week, right? So because we have another one to do right now, so we're going to go to Python. Thank you so much, Joshua, for this. So yeah, and hopefully you guys have actually learned one or two things about cybersecurity and how you can make your computer secure, right? So, and thanks to everyone that has contributed as well. So it's been really, really useful. And of course, knowledge is important, but ensure that you use that as well while you are on the internet. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we are going to go with Python. Okay. David, are you ready for us?
Yeah. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Python. Today we're going to be doing numbers. And first of all, everyone knows how everything worked last week. Like last week we did the comments. So does everyone knows how comments work, right? Does anyone want to put a brief explanation on how comments work, just so we can review it? Okay, David Elvis Daniel, can you unmute yourself?
So do comments work by like putting a hashtag and then like it's a small little like summary of the code below it, or like what's happening in the code?
Yeah, so basically, to make a comment, you just put the hashtag sign in front of the text you want to put in the code, and of course the code will not display any of it. It's just in there to provide context for the code or to explain it. So that's just a quick summary of the comments that we did last time. So we're going to be starting with numbers this lesson. So variables can also hold numeric values. So numbers. The simplest kind of number in Python is the integer, which is a whole number with no decimal point. That is very important. Knowing the difference between the integer and decimals as well. So we have here examples of int1, int standing for integer. Of course, there's a whole number with no decimal points whatsoever. And a number with a decimal point is called a float. You can define floats with numbers after the decimal point or by just including a decimal point at the end. So we can have here floats, which are numbers that include decimal points. So of course, in this example, a float will either be a number with a decimal point and another number, a number with a decimal point, and it can also just be a negative number as well. And you can also define a float using scientific notation with e to the power of 10. Of course, this includes stuff like standard form. You don't need to understand that at the moment. but it's just basically numbers to the powers and also cubed, squared, all of that. So our instructions for today are you are going shopping. Let's make a grocery list so you can plan your budget. Store the number of cucumbers you want to buy in the variable called cucumbers. So we have our variable cucumbers right up here. Make sure it's at least one. We have one here. And that is an appropriate data type. The store doesn't sell partial cucumbers, of course. And each cucumber costs 3.25 doubloons. Store the price cucumber. Store the price per cucumber in the variable called price per cucumber we have here. So of course it's 3.25 doubloons, and we're storing the price of the cucumber within the variable price per cucumber. Create a new variable called total cost, which is the product of how many cucumbers you are going to buy and the cost per cucumber. So of course our total cost is basically going to be our cucumbers, price per cucumbers. Because we're going to the store, we're going to get cucumbers, we're going to get a certain amount, and of course each one will cost the same amount, and we will just multiply both of those values together to get the total cost of how much we're going to pay for all of those cucumbers. And we'll print out the total cost here. And can anybody raise your hand up in the chat and ask if I ask what data type is total cost? Does anyone know what data type total cost is? David?
Is it a variable?
Yes, the total cost is a variable. Of course, we have assigned the variable a value of the cucumbers multiplied by the price per cucumber, and that is ultimately the value the variable has been assigned. And here we're printing out the variable with the print. If we run, it should just be 1, as 1 is the value of the cucumber, multiplied by 3.25, which is the price per cucumber. So if we do that, yeah, it comes up with 3.25.
Okay, before you move forward, right? So you need to look at, when you're talking about data types as well, you talk about integer, float, string, and the likes. Okay, so 3.25, what type of data type is that? So I want to ask everyone, is it an integer? Is it a float? Is it a string? Or what exactly it is, right? From what we learned today.
Yeah, it's really important to know the
Yeah.
difference between the whole number and decimal. So, which data type is the 3.25? Emmanuel, okay?
Is it decimal?
Yes, it is a decimal, but what is the name of the data type that it holds? So if I scroll up here, you will be able to see everything here.
Okay, you got Enoch. Enoch has got his hand up.
Enoch?
It's a float.
Yes, the data type of the 3.25 is a float because it's a decimal point. Of course, you can see right here it has the decimal, so that's the data type.
So before you go, if you scroll down, that means the total cost at the bottom, the total cost, of course, is a variable, right, which is good, but then the data type is a float. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank David and also everyone that have responded. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next lesson. Okay, we have two types of division. In Python 2, we divide two integers. We get an integer as a result. When the equation is a whole number, this works fine. Of course, so we can see here, 6 divided by 2, we all know that is 3. So the equation is equal to 3. But if the numbers don't exactly divide equally, it will still be rounded to the nearest integer, and it will be rounded down to the nearest whole number. And you can see right here, 7 divided by 2, it would normally be 3.5, but instead, the code will just round it down to the nearest whole number, and it will just appear as 3. So if I can just show right here, if we do print 7 divided by 2, it comes up as 3. So of course, you can see that it's not doing the proper calculation. It's just rounding it down to the nearest integer. So let's move on. To yield a float as the result instead, programmers often change either the numerator or the denominator or both to be a float. So in this example, like we have seen before, to make something represent itself as a float, you add a decimal point. So as you can see here, we have 7 point /2, which will equal 3.5. We have another example, but instead the denominator is has a decimal point, and we can also do one with both having decimal points. This is how we'll get the actual value by also integrating the float into it. And an alternative way to use it is doing float and putting the numerator inside, and it will also come up with 3.5. So our task for today, in this lesson, is we have come up with the grocery store with 100 cucumbers to split amongst yourselves, and 5 roommates in total. I mean, and 5 roommates, 6 people in total, and create a variable cucumbers that holds 100, and num people that holds 6. So we have cucumbers, we have people, which is equal to 6, and create a variable called cucumbers per person. That is the integer result of dividing cucumbers by num people. So whole cucumbers per person. Of course, up
1
here,
minute, David.
yeah.
1 minute, David. So, I want us to do it as a challenge, okay? If that's okay, we're going to break into rooms now, right? And then, yeah, everyone should give that a try, okay? So let's do that right now. Yeah, thank you so much, David, for today, okay?
Okay.
So, yeah. For next week, we're going to have David Elvis actually teaching us. Thank you. So, yeah, for today, yeah, we're going to break into rooms. Then I would want to see which of the team would kind of come back to show us what they've done, if that's okay. Okay. If you want to be a lead in the room, can you raise your hand, please? If you want to be a lead in the rooms. You are just there to share your screen. You don't need to do anything, okay? So, okay, all right, thank you. I need 1 more. I need 2 more people. Thank you, Bimpe. Can we get another person? Okay, I'm going to then allocate people then, okay?
Wait,
Joshua
sorry,
Dare.
is this for the next two lessons in the Python syllabus as well? Because I only done 2.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going to do what you've done today, right? In the
Okay.
breakout room. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So Joshua Dare, Bimpe, can I have another person? Okay. How about Jordan? Okay. So, okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to put